Hello, thank you for tuning in to the Katie Sassine Show. I'm your host, Katie Sassine, addressing the indoctrination of the nation. Remember to tweet me at KatieFYNTV and send me emails of comments, suggestions, or complaints, if needed, at katie@fetchyournews.com. So we left off discussing the construction of the DAPL, the DAPL, the Dakota Access Pipeline. And there's been a very popular hashtag going around by protesters for a couple years now, hashtag no DAPL, DAPL. And that's been very, very popular. The protest for this has been much more aligned with the mass media than the supporters for this, of course. And that's no surprise. Now, the pipeline holds the potential of hundreds of billions of barrels of oil to be transferred from North Dakota to Illinois and put into refineries in Illinois. Now, this is said to be a huge economic boom, a huge economic opportunity. It's basically a gold mine for this area of the country. And that would benefit the whole country. That would benefit the entire country as well. So there are two sides, though, of course, as there are to every story. Well, there's three technically, one side, the other, and then the middle ground, which is usually right. Now, the two sides to this story include the opposition of the construction and the funding, and of course, the supporters of the construction. So who are the opposition of the construction? The opposition, reportedly, by and large, are the Standing Rock Sioux that live on a reservation in North and South Dakota. And this includes several Sioux tribal nations and the Meskwaki, Meskwaki, and the Meskwaki. It also includes, of course, other local residents and environments. These people are very much against the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. And why? Because it poses the danger, the risk of contaminating the water supply over the beautiful river that it is over, which the name escapes me right now, I'm sorry. So, we showed a video of young protesters who spoke out against the contamination of the water and the possibility of that, and also the sacred grounds that would be destructed because of the pipeline construction. And we also saw a video posted to YouTube in 2012 from Black Hills, South Dakota, that explained the benefits of this pipeline, years ago, and how this could be such a great economic opportunity for us. And now it's finally coming to fruition. So, although there are many people that are upset by its cultural implications upon, the Native Americans and their sacred burial grounds, people are supporting this because of its potential benefits to the United States of America in the present day and age. And the reason why this is important and why we need to support the Dakota Access Pipeline, or why we should support it, is for the country. It's for the United States of America. It will help the U.S. to better defend itself against other nations because it will not be dependent on foreign nations for oil. And it will also supply jobs, temporarily, but it will supply jobs, and it will provide wealth for many Americans for the rest of their lives who otherwise would not be wealthy at all. So funding and defunding, because of the push and pull of the Dakota Access Pipeline and the objection to it, there's been defunding by certain banks. So bank lenders of the construction, there's about 40 of them. The biggest names include Wells Fargo, SunTrust, Citibank, Citigroup, and there are other foreign names, and these were reported, I found, on womensmarch.com. Now, womensmarch.com source was an investigation conducted by the Food and Water Watch. And there's also a hashtag they use on womensmarch.org. They advertise, it's hashtag divest DAPL, DAPL, because they're trying to push for the boycotting of the Dakota Access Pipeline funding banks, including, as stated, Wells Fargo, SunTrust, Citibank, Citigroup, etc. So essentially, they're punishing banks for supporting President Donald Trump, and President Donald Trump is trying to look out for national security. President Donald Trump is a realist person. He's a realist president. His priorities include national security. So back to the Women's March. There's a photo that I screenshotted from their website, and it says, we already know the answers to these questions when it comes to the 37 major banks, so about 40 funding the Dakota Access Pipeline. We know these banks would rather drain indigenous communities than support them, apparently. And we know these banks perpetuate oppression. We know these banks profit off of destruction. Interesting opinion. Now, I could look for contradictions in that, but I don't really have the time right now regarding, liberals in those banks and conservatives in those banks, but I won't get into that at the moment. So you can find that on womensmarch.org. All the information is there for you. Now, more importantly, the largest financial service group of Norway, the largest bank in Norway, DNB ASA, has defunded the project. DNB ASA, Norway's largest financial service group, contributed approximately 350 million credit to the project, which is reportedly 10% of the total cost, and announced it would work to encourage a more constructive process to find solutions to the conflict that has arisen in the protest. But instead, it has pulled back some funds. And I found this out by stumbling across some Greenpeace research, and that talked of terminating the loans for the project immediately. Martin Norman, Greenpeace Norway Sustainable Finance campaigner, he said it is great that DNB has sold its assets in the disputed pipeline, and it is a clear signal that it is important that people speak out when injustice is committed. We now expect DNB to also terminate its loans for the project immediately. So I'm assuming that was followed through with. And he also went on to say there should be a clause in the lending agreement that deals with human rights violations, and DNB should use it to get its money back and end all involvement in the Dakota Access Pipeline, etc. If they don't have such a clause, they must accept they have a bad contract and take the loss. So, very strong positions here. Norman says a lot of things that are, with a lot of his words, he's just implying certain things. And especially when he says, that he says that this deals with human rights violations. Now, we are talking about sacred burial grounds, but these are sacred burial grounds of people in a land that has been conquered by other people. And the way that things are today, it's unfortunate, and it's not the best solution. Sometimes we have to choose the lesser of two evils. And I believe that this is President Trump choosing the lesser of two evils. President Trump has to say, which Obama would have done. Obama would have approved this if he wasn't about to leave office before it came to be the time to do this. He just wanted to appease the community. He just wanted to make it harder on President Donald Trump. And we can get into that later if there's time. But anyway, it's just appalling how this is being blown out of proportion. And what is being done for the national security of the United States of America. The object is to stop the dependence on foreign oil, is to end the dependence on foreign oil, and to become a more independent and prosperous nation ourselves, because we are an indebted nation to other countries, but we are the most powerful nation. So let's keep our eyes on the prize. Trump is focused on the bigger picture here, and that's what we should support. Trump is focused on protecting our borders, protecting our national security, and this is a fundamental way of doing that. And it's very unfortunate that the Dakota Access Pipeline is over sacred Native American grounds. It is very unfortunate. However, it is fortunate for the U.S. that we have access to these kind of natural resources, and the time has come where we need to necessitate and take advantage of these resources. Now, I don't know how you can call me evil based on that statement, because I sympathize with the Native Americans, with the predominantly Sui Native American tribes. But I acknowledge the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is that this is a dangerous time to be dependent on others for oil. We are in a time in the world where there's an Islamic war going on, and we don't know if there's going to be a terrorist attack on our soil tomorrow or not. And, you know, just recently, last week, there was an attack in London, and then there was an attack in a nightclub. And I'm always hearing about these terrorist attacks. And this is the U.S.'s primary concern, is our protection and our security. So I just want us all to bear that in mind, or to bear in mind, you know, when we criticize Trump for policies that go against environmentalists, that it's, you know, hopefully in the name of security. Anyway, we'll be right back with the Katie Secede Show. Please stay tuned in for more details on the updates on the Dakota Access Pipeline construction.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
There comes a time when the hard way is the only way. Ordering Pizza Hut is not that time. When I want a $7.99 large pizza from Pizza Hut, I can order with this, and now, from my Pizza Hut pie tops.
Here's your large 2-topping Pizza Hut pizza.
Easy as pie.
Now get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99. It's the best pizza delivery deal.
Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
It's a new year, new you at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper. Ring in the new year with huge deals on a brand new Ford. Right now, get exceptional offers like 0% financing plus a $1,500 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford F-150 XLT. Or get 0% financing plus a $1,000 factory rebate on a new 2017 Ford Explorer. Make your resolution a reality during the New Year, New You sales event at Schottenkirk Ford Jasper, home of the Schottenkirk Customer Guarantee. Visit us online at SchottenkirkFordJasper.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Welcome back to the Katie Secede Show, and we are discussing the Dakota Access Pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline executive order signings, and we've been discussing the history of the Dakota Access Pipeline and the debates whether we should construct or whether we should not construct. So I described the pipeline. It's about 1,100 miles, and it would transport 500,000 barrels of North Dakota produced oil to refining markets in Illinois. And there's been protesters that have been taking place for years against the Dakota Access Pipeline because these these protesters are against the fact, well, one of two facts or both, that the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline would damage sacred burial grounds of Native Americans, and also that it could possibly contaminate fresh water sources for the people in the area. So, it's just, it's unfortunate that this is the situation at hand, but the important thing to remember is why we are still looking to construct the Dakota Access Pipeline with these concerns and with these protesters. It's not and why we need to do this anyway. So the reason we need to construct the pipeline is to protect our countries. It's for our national security. That's the whole reasoning behind it, is to lessen the dependence on foreign oil. That's the big picture here. So, although the pipeline threatens sacred Native American burial grounds, we are choosing the lesser of two evils. It is not that Mr. Trump does not sympathize with the Native Americans. Mr. Trump and other Americans, any other good American, will sympathize with the Native Americans. As we personally did not come over and conquer America, it is not, and the rain is really pouring down over here. We did not, personally come over here and conquer the Native Americans. And we were not, personally the conquistadors. I wasn't even related to them. My ancestors came from abroad. So I am sympathetic to the Native American community and, their sentiments and their feelings that we are disrupting ancient burial grounds. But I don't know where my ancestors are buried. I don't know if the grounds have been dug up or damaged for other purposes. What about other sacred grounds of other peoples? So it's, it brings up debate, and there's a lot you can debate with it. And I know that statement may anger some people because the spirituality of Native Americans is very strong, and I don't want to offend anyone. I certainly don't. But, I think this was a decision made on behalf of the United States of America, and in order to protect us. And there's been funding and defunding that has been pushed, it has been pushed very much so by organizations such as the Women's March and comparable organizations. I'm sure that OFA sponsors, protests against this movement as well. And the mass media is certainly against it. And there's been a large bank in Norway that even had been swayed to defund the project. And Greenpeace sustainable finance campaigner Martin Norman spoke out about DNB, Norway's biggest bank, and how they funded 10% of the project. And he stated that it is great that DNB has sold his assets in the disputed pipeline, and now we expect DNB to also terminate its loans for the project immediately. So Greenpeace, Women's March, OFA, these type of organizations have been pushing the defunding of the Dakota Access Pipeline, when in reality what they're doing is they're posing danger to their country, because the reasoning behind the Dakota Access Pipeline is to provide more security for the nation, to make us not dependent on foreign oil. But, the people that are protesting this, they're not seeing the big picture of things. They're not seeing the fact that, us being dependent on others for oil as a threat to national security. They're not seeing that bigger picture. So it's important that people understand the bigger picture so that they can protect themselves in the present, then occupy themselves with the past. Although it's very sad that sacred burial grounds will be destroyed and, hopefully preserved to the best ability in some kind of facility. Hopefully somehow these sacred burial grounds can be reserved, but it's unfortunate that it has to disrupt these sacred burial grounds. And that's what protesters need to keep in mind, is that no one wants to disrupt sacred burial grounds. What they want is to protect the country. So anyway, the purpose, importance of the construction, again, is that the U.S. produces less than half of the oil that it consumes. The dependence on foreign oil is continuously growing, and oil dependence is crucial to having sound foreign relations. Need I say more? And, more on the defense of the construction. One, Environmentalists have claimed that hydraulic fracturing excessively wastes water. That's true. It can take millions of gallons of water to frack wells, but the water use is the same as water needed for former industries, like the steel industry, for example, no longer active in the area in which the fracking and the construction of the pipeline would be to take place. So it's just replacing former use of water that was used by an industry formerly in that same location. And two, it would make the U.S. a more energy independent state. Dependence on another state's source of oil is risky. So everyone talks about the mistreatment of Native Americans, but what they should be talking about is the protection of the United States. And I am sympathetic. I am sympathetic to the Native Americans. But first and foremost, as I am looking out for myself and my country and my state and the protection of my people, yes, I support the Dakota Access Pipeline because it brings prosperity to the nation that is needed right now at this point in time. So the executive order signed by President Trump was signed on January 24th, just days after inauguration. And it was, in order to advance the construction of the Dakota Pipeline. We've got some footage here of Trump signing the Keystone and DA Pipeline executive orders that we're going to check out right now.
This is with regard to the construction of the Keystone Pipeline, something that's been in dispute, and it's subject to a renegotiation of terms by us. We're going to renegotiate some of the terms, and if they'd like, we'll see if we can get that pipeline built. A lot of jobs, 28,000 jobs, great construction jobs. Okay, Keystone Pipeline. This is with respect to the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline. Dakota Access Pipeline. Again, subject to terms and conditions to be negotiated by us. Okay.
So tedious. So there's the very intimate and very tedious process of signing executive orders. It's a very intimate kind of video. I really like that. I really enjoy that video and seeing President Trump sign the executive orders. So 28,000 jobs he mentioned while signing the Keystone Pipeline executive order. Many very good construction jobs. Construction jobs lead to great careers. Construction jobs lead to men building buildings like Mr. Donald Trump himself and creating things and creating a more industrious and productive United States of America and a better society. There's more stuff to do. You build things, you got more stuff to do. You've got more jobs, you got more energy, you got more people. It's just better all around to stimulate the economy. Stimulate, stimulate, stimulate. It's a good word. So, and of course he said it's subject to terms and conditions to be negotiated by DC, among the local and state areas that will have to approve construction of the Keystone Pipeline as well. So, who were behind it for years, as we saw in that video earlier of Black Hills Fox in South Dakota. The reporter expressed what a great opportunity it was for them to construct the pipeline. So anyway, we will continue with more on this and a recap of the week in tomorrow's episode, so stay tuned in. And if you're just looking for a brief recap of the week, definitely tune in to tomorrow's episode because we will be doing that this Friday, tomorrow. So, and also, congratulations for making it to Thursday. You're almost there to the weekend. And remember to tweet me at KatieFYNTV and also email me at katie@fetchyournews.com.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
Better days ahead at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. We make everything better, and no matter what vehicle you drive, our new state-of-the-art service center can keep you running like new with factory-trained technicians, genuine parts, and value pricing. Even convenient Saturday service hours and online appointments. So if you want to extend the life of your vehicle, let the Days service experts help. Your better day is just ahead at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where we service whatever you drive.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.